Thanks for watching County Report this week. I'm Susan Kennedy. The Montgomery County Board of Education has approved a $2.2 billion budget for the schools for the next fiscal year. That figure is $82 million more than was approved last year. Council President Valerie Irvin says the county's current fiscal situation will make funding this request a difficult task.
The Board of Education did what they are required to do by law, which is to pass a maintenance of effort budget. They did that, and they assumed a lot of money that the county does not have. So the county executive, Ike Leggett, has already said that this would not be an MOE budget. The council is anticipating the March 15th arrival of the budget in our hands, and then we will begin the very difficult job of figuring out how we're going to balance the budget knowing we don't have this kind of money.
The storm of January 26 damaged thousands of trees throughout the county. Many residents are still wondering what to do with those tree branches that are left on their property. The county's Department of Transportation has been executing the cleanup effort since then. Lorna Virgili tells us how the cleanup is going. Lorna?
Susan, the storm knocked down about 300 county trees last month, and the Department of Transportation is still working on the cleanup. The storm damage was so monumental that the Department of Transportation has received over 5,000 requests for large branch pickup.
Our crews and private contractors that we use, they've removed, cut up, ground up, hauled away those 300 trees. In addition to those trees, large tree branches and tree debris was scattered everywhere throughout the county. No part of Montgomery County was spared from tree debris.
Since then, the county has been systematically picking up branches following snowplow routes.
So we have sent both our crews, our county crews, as well as private contractors systematically throughout those 216 plow routes to clean the debris on each and every county street.
For county pickup, the key is to determine if the tree or branch has fallen in county property. The county's 311 call center is still the best place to make the initial report and ask for an assessment.
The best step at this point would be to report it to 311. 311 will in turn open a service request and report it to DOT. In the meantime, after we complete our one full sweep, we will still go back and conduct a quality assurance check, if you will, to assure that we've got all the major debris throughout the county.
Tree branches falling on utility lines should be reported to the utility company. The ones falling on private property are the responsibility of the owner, who may bundle up the pieces in bunches no longer than 4 feet and leaving them curbside on recycling day. They could hire a private contractor or bring them to the transfer station.
It's no secret this year's operating budget will be one of the most difficult this county has seen. So, in an effort to engage the public in the budget process, the county has launched an online tool that will make it easier for the public and the business community to make comments or suggestions on the budget.
How do we engage the people we represent in the big challenge of bringing our expenses in line with our revenues, which is going to require spending less, when every specific thing we spend less on garners a whole lot more email saying, save that, don't cut that. And so my thinking was that if we had a very easy tool that the public could use, both to weigh in on the need to reduce the budget and then also on specific things that we may not be aware of. For example, a lot of suggestions have related to turning lights off at night. People drive by buildings, Montgomery College facilities, parking garages, and they're saying, why do you need the lights on? I think our Department of General Services may not be aware that at any given time lights are on at night in a given building. It may just be an error. And so these kinds of things that we're already hearing from the public are really very helpful to department heads, the county executive, and the county council. And then other things that give us a sense of where public opinion is and what the public's priorities are.
You can find that tool on the main page of the county's website, or go to www.montgomerycountymd.gov/budget comments. In other news, census figures just released reinforce what has been evident over the past several years. Minorities have become the majority in Montgomery County. Just under 49% of Montgomery County's residents are non-Hispanic whites, down from 60% just 10 years ago. Hispanics rose by 2/3 and make up close to 17% of the county's population, outsizing the African American population. Councilmember Nancy Navarro says these new numbers change the image of Montgomery County.
As you can see, the growth has been throughout the county. It has not necessarily been concentrated in one area or another as it was in the past. So I think the message is that this is who we are. These are our neighbors, these are our friends, these are our co-workers, and I think it reflects the national trend that we are now a global, very much a global county, just like the world is.
Still ahead on County Report this week, a breakdown of what the school board is proposing in this year's budget, and approval of a mixed-use project in the heart of downtown Silver Spring. Keep it here on County Report this week. Welcome back to County Report. Montgomery County Police are still actively working on a case in Germantown involving 3 sexual assaults, and Captain Paul Starks from Montgomery County Police is here to give us the latest on that case. Captain, what's happening?
Well, investigators continue to follow up leads, but more importantly, the Victims' Rights Foundation and Crime Solvers have combined to provide a $6,000 reward to anyone who can provide information to the person or persons responsible for these 3 sexual assaults that date back to last summer.
Where did these assaults take place?
All of them occurred in a small neighborhood in Germantown. In the future, the Victims' Rights Foundation will have volunteers distributing flyers in that neighborhood, alerting residents and asking them to call police if they know anything about these events.
Okay, and again, you just said we could call police. Can you tell us what number we need to call?
Anyone who has any information can call the Major Crimes Division at 240-773-5070.
Okay, great work. Thanks very much. Captain Paul Starks, Montgomery County Police. As we reported in the beginning of the show, the Montgomery County Board of Education voted and passed a $2.2 billion budget for fiscal year 2012. The measure represents a maintenance of effort budget, adding no new initiatives or programs. Here's a breakdown of what the board approved.
It is unanimous.
The Montgomery County Board of Education has unanimously approved a $2.2 billion operating budget for the upcoming fiscal year and will now forward the spending plan to Montgomery County officials for consideration. The board's budget request contains no new initiatives or programs and represents the least amount of money it can ask for under the state of Maryland's Maintenance of Effort law. That law requires counties to fund public schools at the same per-student level each year. To meet the requirement, Montgomery County must boost its contribution to MCPS by $82 million over last year to account for increased enrollment of more than 3,300 students.
We must ask for what our students need. We are already spending $1,000 less per student than we have in the past years. To do less would simply be wrong. There are no easy cuts to be made. Every student in every school across the county will be affected by the reductions that may be coming.
It may be deeper.
Board members warned that many popular and effective instructional programs, as well as hundreds of teaching jobs, would be at stake if the minimum local funding level falls short. Class sizes would also have to increase. One hit would be a $22 million penalty levied against MCPS by the state.
The struggle is to stay focused on our goals, to try to make choices that keep us on track to be able to meet the needs of our students.
Through a hiring freeze, expenditure restrictions, and other cost-saving measures, MCPS has already saved $15 million in the current budget that will be carried over to the new fiscal year. County Executive Isaiah Leggett is expected to release his budget recommendations on March 15th. The County Council begins deliberations in April and will approve a final budget in May.
The budget now goes to the County Council with a final measure to be approved before the beginning of the next fiscal year on July 1st. Now for some news that involves the redevelopment of Falklands Chase Apartments in Silver Spring. The property is off East-West Highway and 16th Street and presents an opportunity to develop a new transit-oriented mixed-use development in the heart of downtown Silver Spring. After a review that took years as the Falkland Chase complex went through the historic preservation process, the project has been given the green light by the Planning Board. Built during the New Deal era and dedicated by Eleanor Roosevelt, redevelopment of Falkland Chase was opposed by preservationists. In the end, planners say this redevelopment plan is a good compromise for a project that is so close to downtown Silver Spring and transit. Everything south of East-West Highway will remain the same.
Well, we very much wanted to save the historic element of the Falklands, that the location of the Falklands is so prime and a smart growth aspect right across from Metro, right near downtown Silver Spring, and that it would be a pity not to be able to at least use some of that land to really get a denser, exciting, mixed-use sort of development.
So there'll be more housing, more retail right next to the Metro, which is just a few minutes walk away.
The proposal includes 4 buildings with a total of more than 1,200 dwelling units that will replace the garden-style apartment buildings currently on the site. 330 of those units will be reserved as affordable housing. Currently, those garden-style buildings house just 110 units. The site is adjacent to the future Purple Line and is within walking distance of the new Silver Spring Transit Center. The proposal also calls for retail space, and 20% of the site will remain as open space.
What they're showing is working with some of the existing stream that runs through that property and creating a real water element that will kind of go through right through the middle of the residential portion and then continue across the street, because of course they've also agreed to fix up the stream on the south side, even though it's off their property per se. And so it really looks like the open space will be something that will be probably one of the more dynamic features of what will be a fairly dense project when it's completed.
Folks who live in the new Falklands Chase will be able to take advantage of convenient connections between residential, recreational, commercial, and employment areas. The proposed development meets these goals by offering a diverse base of housing and retail at the edge of the central business district in an area that is currently dominated by residential uses.
On the west side of 16th Street, there are a lot of rental apartments, and there's a lot of foot traffic that comes along East-West Highway towards the Metro. And so having additional convenience retail, which could be potentially a dry cleaner, having the grocery store and the restaurants, there'll be that many more things that folks going to and from the Metro, stop at the market, get something, go home.
This project is right across from the new transit center, which people don't realize is coming because it's still, well, the framework's up, but they don't really realize that it's going to really be a focal point for buses, trains, MARC. So they're right across the street from that. And we continue to see really an exciting resurgence of Silver Spring.
The plan now goes back to the board in the spring for site plan review. Still to come on County Report this week, raising the awareness of electronic waste. And a music legend brings his acoustics to Montgomery County for a good cause. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Students in the Montgomery College Macklin Business Institute have created a project designed to raise awareness of the global electronic waste problem. Our friends at Montgomery College Television have the story.
Students in the Macklin Business Institute are launching a global e-waste awareness and action project. Most Americans are probably not aware of the electronic waste or e-waste epidemic, nor are they aware they are contributing to it.
The goal of the project is to raise awareness about the electronic waste scams that are going around in the world we live in today. Electronics that should have been recycled properly are actually being shipped to the third world countries, and they're actually polluting the environment that these third world countries are inhabiting.
When computers, monitors, and other electronic components are improperly disposed of, materials can seep into the groundwater and be toxic enough to cause serious health risks. The result is contamination of water resources for humans and grazing animals, indirectly contaminating food sources. In an effort to avoid high cost of proper disposal, e-waste is often shipped overseas for processing in developing nations like Africa, China, and India. According to the EPA, roughly 14% of all e-waste was recycled properly in 2007. Over 80% of it ended up in our landfills.
Everyone has something old or unused lying around the home or office, like maybe something needs to be cool before Christmas.
Common types of electronics students and faculty can drop off at our various locations include cell phone, phone chargers, printers, battery chargers.
Instead of throwing it in the trash, sending it down to the landfill, what we need them to do is bring it down to the campus. We're going to have multiple locations actually. Maybe we'll have a place in the Humanities Building, library, down by the cafeteria. So we definitely need students to bring those items down to there. We're gonna have collection boxes. It's gonna have a big sign. It's gonna tell them what they need to do in order to put it in the box, and that's what we need students to do.
Look for the special e-waste disposal boxes around campus.
Folk music legend Paul Stuckey of the group Peter, Paul, and Mary paid a visit to Montgomery County this month to perform in a charity concert at Montgomery College. And as we found out, now more than ever, he believes in the power of people in his quest for unity.
That big burning bowl always.
Paul Stuckey was in Tacoma Park to raise money for the Monaire Foundation. This nonprofit foundation in Montgomery County is dedicated to preserving the history of the Underground Railroad, which helped thousands of slaves escape before the Civil War.
To actually walk amongst the crops that were planted at the turn of the century in the late 1800s, to see the implements of slavery that were used on our fellow human beings is pretty sobering.
Folk music was alive in Greenwich Village in the 1960s. It was there that Paul Stuckey, Peter Yarrow, and Mary Travers learned that folk music was more than just music.
I became aware that there could be a connection between what you sang about and what you lived in your life. And as life developed, some 50 years later, Peter, Mary, and I, and certainly in our solo careers as well as our group careers, began to live that ethic. You know, a sense that music can not only entertain, but it can tell you about what's happening in the world, and it can also echo your emotion and your simpatico. And that's what I hope to do.
Folk music in itself has always been about social justice and political concerns and people. I think that if you're putting something out, it comes back to you. I mean, I just think that's a law of the land.
And the land is what Paul and Betty Stuckey love about Montgomery County.
Just to step out your backyard and be on the park grounds, I mean, that's a pretty unusual circumstance for a lot of folks, you know. And to be able to have such easy access to park and to reconnect yourself with the natural environment, that's a wonderful gift. And Montgomery County's got the best gift of all.
The lessons of Greenwich Village are still with Paul Stuckey. His voice and guitar are instruments for his message of hope and optimism.
I feel called, really, as my life proceeds. You know, I'm 73 now, to leave the world a better place than I came in. That's where I have to be. Whether I get paid for it or not, you know the old expression, folk singers never die, they just do benefits. Well, that's, you know, I find myself less and less concerned about making the buck, more and more concerned about making the point.
Even the wedding song, which Stuckey wrote 40 years ago, fits into his world of giving back. The royalties of the song have been distributed to many charities. Honest to goodness, all of us down deep just want to feel useful. You know, want to feel like we've contributed something. And certainly when something comes along like the wedding song and surprises you with its use in so many different people, then you say, you know, thank you, higher power, thank you for allowing me to participate in this great ride. Now here's Tom Pogue with this week's Transportation Update.
Hi, I'm Tom Pogue, Community Relations Manager for the Department of Transportation. Here's an update from Montgomery County. Residents should be aware that it is prohibited to place landscaping such as river stones or planters, or to build structures such as decks, sheds, or fences within the area reserved for drainage on their property. These items can cause flooding downstream if they interfere with the drainage system. Homeowners may not be aware that the deed to their property may have designated portions of their yard as stormwater or storm drain easements to handle water runoff. These easements reserve a swath of land about 15 to 20 feet wide for drainage, either above or below ground. They are typically found in front of a house running parallel to the road, but may also be in the side or backyards. Residents should check the deeds to their property for drainage easements before building a structure or an addition or installing landscaping. To make any alterations within an easement area, residents must obtain a revocable permit from the Department of Permitting Services. For more information about storm drain easements or permits to build on them, call 311, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're working to keep you moving.
Coming up next on County Report this week, a county business that's helping others go green. And a lesson on the available garden clubs here in the county. Keep it here on County Report this week. Welcome back to County Report. There's a business in Montgomery County that is taking on the responsibility of helping other businesses go green. Montgomery Community Media takes us to the All Eco Center in Wheaton.
The All Eco Center, located in Wheaton, right in the heart of Montgomery County, is one of the few green design showrooms dedicated to everything eco-friendly. At the All Eco Center, they show you how to choose products with the least impact on the environment and your wallet. They offer a wide variety of countertop options which are made from 100% recycled glass, as well as mercury-free LED light bulbs for standard fixtures. I bet you've never seen anything like this before. Curled shavings of scrap aluminum embedded in a resin that comes in a variety of colors. The metals reflect light beautifully, but the best part is it is eco-friendly. I'm at the All Eco Center with Dave Tagliapore. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you, Susan?
Great. I'm so excited to be here. Tell us what makes this store different than most stores that you actually go in and try to buy these products from.
We're a 100% environmentally friendly design showroom. We've made a lot of efforts and done a lot of research to bring in the greenest and highest quality products that exist in the marketplace, making it a complete one-stop shop for designers, homeowners, and the like.
Let's start off with talking about some of your countertops here. I thought this was for the floor.
Right. Yeah, typically is. This is made of bamboo, which is a rapidly renewable material. It's a grass. This is a countertop material, but it's also available for flooring and building materials.
When I think of bamboo flooring, this is what I think of.
That's right.
But now, I mean, this stuff actually looks like real wood.
Absolutely. And I think more beautiful, and in most cases like this, more durable and much denser.
Besides all these great things you told us about, I want to mention that you have glass tiles, lighting, solar tubes, which are awesome, LED lights. I mean, you're basically right. This is the one-stop shop for all your green needs. So thank you very much for your efforts.
Thank you.
Now you know you don't have to spend a lot of money in order to add green elements into your home.
Our pet of the week this time is a cat. Kathy Stanhope introduces us to Manger.
Hi, this is Kathy Stanhope with your Pet of the Week at the Montgomery County Humane Society. We are here with Manger. Manger is a 12-year-old domestic short-haired cat. She's still got a lot of life in her. She likes to play with kitty toys. She likes sitting on laps. She's a great cat, and she is here through no fault of her own. She was given up by her previous owner because his girlfriend became allergic to her. So you do realize that most of the animals that are here at the shelter are not problem animals. They are here because of some other reason, not because of something they've done. Lots of times it's a case of divorce or death or illness. Sometimes I want Manger to turn around and look at you, but there are birds behind me and she wants to watch those birds. But Manger got wound up here simply because someone was allergic to her. So she, like I said, she still has a lot of life in her. She likes to play. She really likes to go watch those birds out the window. Come on down to the Humane Society here in Montgomery County and visit Manger or another animal just like her. You can also visit her or other animals on the web at mchumane.org or give us a call at 240-773-5967. And remember, in the winter, it's really very important to not have your pet just be outside a lot. We always recommend that the cats stay inside the house. We like to keep the cats inside, but even your dogs, don't leave them out in the yard too long. Make sure that you remove the snow from their feet, and be careful of the snowdrifts. If you have a little dog, your animal could get lost in that snowdrift, so remove the snowdrifts as quickly as you can, particularly if you have a small dog. A dog can get disoriented and not know how to get back to the front door. So come on down and visit us at the Humane Society and visit Manger or another cat just like her, and you might go home with your new very best friend.
In this week's Brookside Gardens Clips and Tips, Leslie McDermott fills us in on all of the garden clubs that are available for folks to join.
Hi, I'm Leslie McDermott, the Marketing and Media Relations Manager here at Brookside Gardens in Wheaton, Maryland. And I'm often asked by visitors, how can I learn about the plants and the flowers that I love? And where can I learn to grow them? And my answer is simple. I say, why don't you join a garden club or a plant society? In addition to the many workshops and demonstrations we offer, or asking our staff questions or using our research library, joining a garden club and plant society is a very easy thing to do. Most communities have local gardening clubs, and most plant societies have regional chapters. Our website lists the various clubs and societies who have shows and sales here at the gardens. The benefits of joining one of these organizations are numerous. Not only will you learn about the plants that you're interested in, but this is a great opportunity to share resources, take advantage of group discounts, and group tours to other gardens and nurseries. All this takes is a little research on your part. So looking ahead to this summer, mark your calendar for June 4th, when Benke Nursery in Beltsville, Maryland, partners with the Tacoma Horticultural Club to sponsor a garden club social. This will be a really fun day. There'll be a great sale at Benke, a plant swap, speakers, and all of the gardening clubs, plant societies, and the Master Gardener plant clinics will have tables there to take your membership and answer your questions. So come on out and happy gardening.
That does it for County Report this week. Tune in again next week for a look at what's going on inside Montgomery County. I'm Susan Kennedy. Thanks for watching.
Montgomery College has received a $200,000 grant from Kaiser Permanente of the Mid-Atlantic States to provide scholarships for health science students. With the grant, MC will award over 250 scholarships to credit and non-credit students with financial needs. The annual recycling return for 2010 to the Montgomery County Division of Solid Waste shows that MC recycles 70% of its total waste, meaning that over 1,848 tons of material did not end up in the county landfill. MC has received a $10,000 grant from the Resnick Group to create a new online course, Introduction to Environmental and Social Sustainability. The gift will be used to develop the curriculum and provide scholarships to students and/or small companies and nonprofits. For more information about the endless possibilities at your community college, visit our website.